listeners to the VentShow. I'm your host, Andy Sharp. I had a frog in my throat today. I was screaming at the Timberwolves last night in a poor performance. That's part of a rant that I might share later. But today's your day. So let's leave the emotional garbage right here, right now, and move on. We'll talk about some things today. And I'd like you to weigh in on it. I'd like your opinion on it. I'd like to know what your experiences are. I'm going to talk a little bit about road rage today. But again, welcome to the VentShow. I'm Andy Sharp. So, of course, we all drive, and wherever we drive to, whether it's work or school or just doing the errands, we will run into the occasional bad driver. Now, I think it's a little normal for all of us to get a little road rage, get a little upset, we might get cut off. Or even worse, somebody might be driving dangerously. Now, got a few tips. We want to talk about how to avoid that stuff, and if you get caught in those situations, what you can do to be in control of those situations and get out of there safely. You certainly don't want to hurt anybody or get hurt yourself. And we're going to give you some tips here that are endorsed by some of the driving experts out there. So when you're dealing with road rage, the first thing you want to do is control your anger. I know it's the immediate reaction is going to be to get them back and maybe drive as unsafe as that person is, but you got to make sure that you're in control and controlling your anger. So take a deep breath, especially if you got kids in the car. You need to figure out not only the safety of yourself and everyone on the roadway, but if you have passengers. Certainly the last thing you want to do is endanger anybody, because that could turn a bad situation into a worse situation for you. Take a deep breath. Think about it. Control your anger. Don't take traffic problems personally. I mean, you gotta pile up. I mean, the first thing I always wonder is, what idiot caused everybody's life to be inconvenienced and inconvenienced us to be late to work or wherever we're going. Personally, that's probably the most frustrating scenario I can deal with. I sometimes like to get up to the front of that line and just see what kind of special idiot created this situation for everybody. But don't take it personally. Obviously, it's part of controlling your anger. Now, if you're driving closely to an aggressive driver, you want to avoid making eye contact with that aggressive driver. Of course, eye contact, it can be antagonistic. Some situations we probably heard of, people will start pulling guns and throwing objects. I mean, that's obviously situations we all want to avoid. So avoiding eye contact, and that way, if it comes to a fourth point here, you don't want to make any obscene gestures. So if you're not making eye contact, then you won't see any of those obscene gestures. So again, it's about kind of just staying in your space and maybe literally staying in your lane for some of these idiots. Don't tailgate is another point they make. Of course, you don't want to tailgate. I mean, most times if you rear end somebody anyway, you're going to be found at fault. So again, that's part of controlling the anger and all these other points that we talked about. Avoid tailgating. Certainly you don't want to get into an accident. You don't want to damage your property. So don't tailgate. And if you use your horn, you want to use it sparingly. Maybe think that even a polite honk can be misinterpreted. Obviously, I'm not saying we should be overly sensitive about how we use our horn, but using it judiciously might be a smarter tactic than not. So our next point is you don't want to block the passing lane. So, even though some jerk's creating a situation, you don't want to be blocking a passing lane and creating a situation for other drivers to get around and making it more dangerous. Whatever minute or two out of your life to get out of that situation and drive safely is going to be well worth it for yourself and everybody else. But use that time to think positively and not get sucked into that emotional black hole or that garbage that somebody's having a worse day or having a less than great day themselves suck you into that. And then, of course, they also mentioned you don't want to block the right turn lane. So again, it's just pretty much common sense here. We're talking about you want to, control your actions and responses. But hey, you know what? It happens. There are going to be idiots out there every day. People that probably shouldn't even be driving. God forbid anyone has a medical emergency while they're driving. I mean, that's understandable. There's going to be elderly out there, and maybe they shouldn't be driving in some cases too. Different ability levels of driving out there. And certainly we don't want a NASCAR situation out there. But just keep things in perspective. Don't get sucked into that drama that's happening around out there. Be positive, think positive, drive safely, and consider other people's safety. We're going to take a short break here. We're going to follow this up. I'm going to play you guys a song here. The song is by a group called Cadmium. It's a nice song. It's got a little bit of an upbeat to it. We're going to play this going into the break here, and then as we come back, we're going to talk about
why did you take my light? The darkness will not survive. I can't wait for the sun to shine right through me. I can't wait for the sun to shine right through me. Why did you take my light? The darkness will not survive. I can't wait for the sun to shine right through me. I can't wait for the sun to shine right through me.
All right, welcome back. That was Cadmium, called Darkness. So I hope you like that song. It was it's a nice royalty-free song, so we hope we give them a little bit of credit and some play out of that. And again, we're coming back to the event show here. Again, I'm your host, Andy Sharp. Thank you for tuning in and listening to the program. We need your support. We need your likes. We need your shares. We need donations as well to help the program go. Stay positive. Again, this is your day. And we hope that you make this part of your everyday and part of your support system. We all need a support system. We all need someone to talk to. And more importantly, I think we all need to know that we are heard. And that's what the Vent Show is all about. So again, welcome. You can reach us on all social media platforms. You can email us at ventshow@yahoo.com. realventshow@gmail.com. You could tweet us, vent_show. Of course, we're on the Spreaker network, the Spreaker platform. So at Spreaker.com, you can search for VentShow and listen to us live. We're on Twitch, VentShow. All right, so we're going to get back into the topic of the day here we're talking about is dealing with road rage and the road rage situations. And this comes strictly from the Esurance website. I don't know if they're always the best deal in that kind of thing, but nonetheless, we're going to talk about some of the important information. Some of it we talked about before, and we're going to go over it again here. But when dealing with road rage situations, it's a couple of things that are important to remember. We have to have some kind of calming routine, and maybe it's putting on music and do something to diffuse your driving frustrations. We know it's not easy to handle road rage, but when it's happening to you or somebody around you. So again, you want to avoid inflammatory gestures. Flipping the bird might make you feel good. Just keep in mind it can escalate the situation. And again, if that's not something you're wanting, it's probably best to avoid any kind of inflammatory gestures. Of course, flipping the bird, again, probably the most popular one. I'm sure there's a few other things out there that are more trending right now than the bird. I don't know, but let me know if you know about it. But probably want to do that. So honking, flashing your lights, hand gestures, you want to avoid that kind of stuff. It's going to create a situation. Unless you're dealing with a safety issue, then that's when you want to use that kind of thing. Open a passing lane if you're on a multi-lane highway. So if you're under pressure from a bullying driver, you may be tempted to slow down or speed up to get them to back off. And doing so, you got to think about, the people behind there, and playing again into that negativity, that garbage they're putting out there. The best advice is put on your right blinker, let the driver know you're moving over. This can prevent the road rage. Obviously, if they're out of control, there's probably going to be a few people that are going to report them to the local authorities and get some attention over there. So again, moving over and getting them out of your life is probably the best thing. Keeping an eye on your rear view for impatient drivers and flashing beams and all that stuff. Build some breathing room too in between the vehicles. You don't want to, again, we talked about, don't want to tailgate. We tend to fill up open space when we're driving in heavy traffic, but, leaving a space in between. I know sometimes let people cut in there, but it gives a space that you need to be able to move, and if you have to in an emergency. So maintaining a few extra feet in traffic jams could actually be the buffer you need to make a quick escape should you. Again, we're talking about eye contact. We talked about inflammatory gestures. Bullying drivers operate on feelings of, anger and personal frustration. And so any perceived challenge to that, can kind of set them off. I mean, they're probably already triggered anyway, for whatever reasons. But again, let's leave their drama with them. If they want to call the Vent Show or they want to share with us, and we'll give them some help. We'll give them some good advice, but resist the urge to shoot that look at them, or, again, with the birds and the inflammatory gestures, because you never know, who's in the car next to you or what their intentions are. The most important thing I guess you really want to do is stay calm. So when you get in these road rage incidents, keeping a healthy perspective, you won't get home any sooner when you're upset. Okay, it's not going to make your drive any better. Again, you're getting sucked into their negative vortex of garbage, and that's something you want to avoid. So understand how to diffuse your own feelings and your own road rage to avoid an accident, because that's what we're really responsible for, right? Is our feelings and the way we respond to things. So tightly gripping the steering wheel actually constricts blood flow. It's a neat little tip here. So if you're getting that tensed up and you start squeezing that steering wheel, it can cause headaches and things like that. And music, playing music, comforting, and whatever music soothes you or speaks to you will definitely help you feel better and have a positive attitude about that stuff. So driving around these guys, get them out of your life as soon as possible. Just when you're at your wit's end, pull over. If it's a situation where you feel like it's out of, things are a little too wild, pull over, let them go ahead, let them go on about their life. If you have to call 911 because it's a safety issue, or if somebody brandished a weapon, did anything crazy, of course you want to make sure that you're reporting that at a safe distance. It's not advised to following people.